everyone, Sailor Moon here, and Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King World here, and today we're going to talk about, the unstraightened Sailor Moon and if they were handled in the right way. A lot of folks gave Deke and Cloverway for cleaning or shifting anyone who was unstraight. Now, I'm not going to say there was no law about it. There was this oversight about it. And back in the day, a lot of folks thought that if you had a show, film, or play, or a drawing show or a drawing film that was for children, and it had anything to do with anyone being unstraight, it was seen as, wrong. Not that it is. Being straight or unstraight, there's nothing wrong with that. But there were some folks that thought it was. And under that stand or mindset, or whatever you want to call it, stand, mindset, standard, or double standard, whatever you want to call it, that was the grounds why when Deke got the rights to work with the first two followings of Sailor Moon, why UNSRTIGHT became a woman. Yeah, that was it. All they really had to do was get a woman to speak for UNSRTIGHT, and they didn't have to worry anymore, even if it didn't match up with what folks were seeing. At least what they heard, and that was the only time Deke had to do it. Cloverway, when they got the rights to work with the Freediff and the fourth followings of Sailor Moon, had to deal with Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune, or Sailor Sky World and Sailor Sea World, being unstraight. Well, they already were women, so they couldn't shift them into women. But what they could do is they could shift their kinship, and said, well, you know why that they're always around each other? You want to know why they're always doing things? Well, together, because they were near kin. They both grew up with each other and happened to be around each other. So that's how Cloverway handled that. And then you had Fisheye, which some folks said was a man who liked to clothe himself in women's clothing. If that is true or not, whatever, Fisheye became a woman. Once again, doing what Deke had to do with UNSRTIGHT, Fisheye becomes a woman. Even though it didn't match up with what folks were seeing, it did match up with what they were hearing. And a lot of folks scapegoated that and thought that Deke and Cloverway should have just left it alone, thinking that all it was a threat, and thinking that folks weren't going to get irked or angered over it. They weren't going to, call the folk works and bitch about it until they had no choice but to end the show. That was what some folks believed. It wasn't like today where the mindset and the standard and the understanding and the learning's there and the trusting is there. And that's why today Viz didn't have to do anything with Sailor Moon. They only had to put it in English. Now, at least Sailor Moon might have been the only show that handled it in a good way. I could think there may have been other shows out there where it may have not been handled the right way at all. And why folks are still talking about this to this day, because they think it was a wrong thing to do. You got anything to say about that, Sailor Jupiter? Oh, yes. Yes, Sailor Moon. A lot of folks out there feel that the shifting or cleaning of the unstraight folks in Sailor Moon was a wrong thing to do. They thought that the mindset and the stand and the double standard of the times should have not been there. Well, you can't go back in time and shift what folks thought. You know, you can't make the past be like the now. And yes, did some folks feel that it was wrong for a Zoisite to become a woman? Yes. Did some folks think that Uranus, Neptune, Cerebral, and Skyworld being near kin didn't match up with the kinship? Yes. Did some folks think that Fisheye should have not been a woman? Yes. But you see, I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. But I am telling you that is why it was done at the time it was done. You know, today, there the mindset, the stand, and the Stanyard, and the understanding and the trusting of folks being unstraight and coming out unstraight is not how it was back then. And nowadays, it is all right to have a drawing show or a drawing film, or a show, film, or play for children that has an unstraight self in it. You know, and that if you don't have that, you get scathed more now for not having it than you did if you had it back in the day. Now, a lot of folks out there like to say that Sailor Moon was the first drawing show to have unstraight selves in it. Well, I don't know if that was true or not. I don't know if it was the first drawing show to ever have unstraight selves in it. That someone's going to have to do a lot of time of looking on the interwebs until they can seek out the first show that ever had that done. You know? Now, at the end of the day, you can't go back in the past, and you can't shift the standard and the mindset and the standard or double standard of what folks thought or what they believed back then. You really can't do anything about it these days. Just be thankful that the mindset, the standard is not what it was. Be thankful it shifted. A lot of folks should be thankful these days that there's a lot of more learning and trust about being unstraight, and the understanding and the learning, you know, about that. So, hopefully I have said this, hopefully I've spoken this in a good way that I can speak it in. Alright. If you like this film, alright, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King World. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Don't forget to share, thumb up, playlist this film, watch the other film I made yesterday over here, and hit the ring to know when the next upload, live stream, and short's been done. I, Sailor Moon, I, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King World, lead 'em. See you later. Goodbye. Farewell. So long.